I see such heroism and such determination and such sacrifice on the part of our families in their process towards creating that it's very inspiring.
These are our children, adopted children, Dylan, Pillsbury Clark, Caitlin, and Sabrina, 2.5, 4, and 5 years old.
From the very beginning we talked about having kids, and it seemed like it was something we were both interested in doing.
So we began trying to do it by doing a private domestic adoption.
Domestic adoption.
And we hired a lawyer that we found through the Wannabe Moms and Dads group, and we did everything we could to get a baby through a domestic adoption. And we contacted a bunch of people, or they contacted us, and 3 different scenarios all ended badly. One was just a fraud, one actually just didn't work out for us, and the third, she canceled the 2 weeks before she gave birth. So at this point, we came to a meeting, and Clayton and Brian walked in with this beautiful baby, and they told us that they had moved to New Jersey and worked with an agency called Just Babies, and that they had gotten Christopher as a foster child. The next month, Dylan was born.
So they came, and you know, I think there's also a thing of like, you just fall in love with them.
We have a son, 4 years old, and we had him through donor program, through in vitro fertilization, which is a form of artificial reproduction. When we met 6 years ago, I had just been thinking myself of having a child, actually on my own. And when we met, Nancy had always wanted a family. Yeah. And so on our 3rd date, I said to her, by the way, I want a child, and I'm going for it. We did have artificial insemination, which was insemination through the uterus, which is IUI. And so we had 5 cycles of that. That didn't work. So after that 5 cycle, we gave it a little rest, and then the doctors came back and said to us, do you want to do in vitro fertilization? And we said yes. In searching for a donor, I mean, we had to take that a lot into consideration too, you know.
Cultural backgrounds.
Cultural background, education, the height, you know, what we were imagining what our child would look like.
We went for, I'm Italian and Evie's Puerto Rican, so we found an Italian donor. So Julian is Puerto Rican Italian.
I also requested audio CD from the donor. And I think this was our final decision, that actually we knew this would be the donor, at least for myself, was that one of the questions they asked the donor is, what would you say to the recipient if you had a chance to talk to her? And his answer was, to the child. And the answer was that I would say to that child that your mother loved you way, way before she even conceived you. She wanted you so bad that's why you're here today. And I said, this is it, honey. This is the one that's coming with us.
And my partner, Greg, and I have 2 almost 6-year-old twins. But almost ever since we met, we knew that part of our vision for the future was having a family that includes kids. And we were just thinking to ourselves, you know, that in a perfect world, we would love to have kids who are biologically ours. I would say that the relationship with the surrogate or the carrier is something that I don't think people ever have anything like that again in their lives. You know, you're a little cautious about everything and can't imagine somebody's doing such a great thing for you, but at the same time, it's very rewarding, I think, looking back both to us and to her. About a couple years ago, when our kids were 4, our neighbor asked how come she doesn't have an Abba. See, I'm an Abba and the other father is Daddy, and she was wondering how come she does only have one dad. So you see, kids have a different perception of normalcy. Judging from our 6-year-olds, you know, so far so good.
I see such heroism and such determination and such sacrifice on the part of our families in their process towards creating that it's very inspiring.